On to Kingdom Hearts Part 2. Ah, there's more. There's more. Do you know how much more? He prepared so much. He spent hours. He spent hours making this note sheet, and it just keeps going. There's more. It never ends. We've
Spent
already talked about this for like an hour and 10 minutes. It's just gonna keep going. There's so well to part 2, everybody. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. So many yellow porous is he. SpongeBob SquarePants. If nautical nonsense be something you wish, then drop off the deck and flop like a fish.
You ready?
SpongeBob SquarePants. No.
You good to go?
Oh, what's deep as a cat? Whoa.
All right. Well, next up we've got story-wise, it's my favorite game. Gameplay-wise, not so much, but
358 divided by 2 days.
It's pretty close. It's actually 358 days over 2 is how you pronounce it, because it's referring to it's basically that's about 358 days over the lives of 2 different people.
So
that's why
they each get half a year to live.
No. I mean, they get 358 days, and it just shows what happens in both of their lives, essentially. I don't know. It took me years before I actually understood that.
Yes, and here I am, having to understand it all right now.
And you'll be happy to know that this is the one with the ice cream. Also, let me just say,
my favorite.
This game is another side game. It's
How many of the games are side game?
I mean, it kind of depends on how. Okay, I guess it's not really. All the games are. I guess I shouldn't call any of them side games, but this one mostly.
Even
it's
the
also.
rhythm game.
I don't know actually. That one's actually not included in this write-up. I haven't played that one, and I don't think.
What about the mobile game? Is that one canon?
Yes, and that one's got about 5 pages in this document.
I'm sorry, the mobile game has 5 pages.
I'm mad about it too. Okay. Anyways,
even the first game only takes up like 3 pages of notes, 2.5 pages.
Well, that's kind of what I was trying to set up.
Why does the mobile game take up 5?
Well, that's kind of what I was trying to set up. Is that basically the first game was just a really simple concept. It was just the idea of it's crossing over Final Fantasy with Disney, and they told a pretty straightforward story with it. They followed a lot of Disney tropes and anime tropes, and just told what was overall a pretty simple story. But then they went off the rails, and you end up with a mobile game that is told over like 7 years.
Yeah. Chris Carter, why have you done this to me?
Yeah. Anyways, all that being said, I guess it's kind of a topic of debate whether you should play 358 over 2 before or after Kingdom Hearts 2. Technically came out after Kingdom Hearts 2, but it takes place at the same time of Chain of Memories. So I think story-wise it's better to play it before Kingdom Hearts 2. But I mean, I think the point is you were supposed to be a little confused at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, and this kind of went back to fill in the gaps, but I don't know. In the HD collection, it comes before Kingdom Hearts 2, so I'm following their lead and doing it here. Oh yeah, and in the HD collection, it's actually just a collection of cutscenes. Because this game originally came out for the DS, and so they've never actually remade the game itself, but that's besides the point. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so this game, you follow Roxas. It starts with his creation. He appears in Twilight Town, and he is Sora's nobody, right? He was created when Sora lost his heart in Hollow Bastion. When he released his heart and turned into a Heartless, he created Roxas, and that's why I said that would be hugely important later. So yeah, Roxas exists now. He appears in Twilight Town. Huh?
Is Roxas other Sora?
Yes, he is Sora's nobody. Roxas is literally just an anagram of Sora with an X thrown in, because that's how the organization members get their name. Xemnas is Ansem with an X. Axel is Lee with an X. Xehanort is not actually an organization member, but his name.
I thought there was a council of Xehanorts.
There kind of is, but yeah, no. So Xehanort. Funny thing is, his name actually doesn't really follow that naming scheme, but his name is an anagram of no heart. So. Yeah.
I get it. It's funny.
Yeah, so he's no heart with an X, but that's not his name was never no heart like the other nobodies. Like all the other nobodies had a real name at some point, and then Xemnas gives them their name and adds the X, which you find out is actually the Requisite Sigil. I didn't really talk about that because it's kind of beside the point. Anyways, so Twilight Town, right? It exists in the realm between the realms of light and dark. Yeah. Castle Oblivion is also in the realm between. So Twilight Town exists there, right? That's where Roxas appears. Xemnas appears to him, makes him their 13th member, and gives him his name. Theme song plays. It's great. You get Sykes' cool speech about the Heartless from Kingdom Hearts 2. So yeah, Roxas is Sora's nobody, as I said.
Yeah.
But so nobodies usually look just like their, human counterpart. Roxas does not look like Sora, and the reason for this is never actually directly explained. We do find out why, but they don't directly tell you that that's why.
It's Aqua. She goes to an island, and then Mickey Mouse saves her.
Kind of, yeah. Since he is Sora's nobody, he also has the ability to wield the Keyblade, which is why the organization wants him. They send him on missions to different worlds so that he can fight Heartless.
Is there only one Keyblade?
In the first game, yes, there was. It was heavily implied that the Keyblade was a special weapon and there was only one of them. But I think by the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, there are like 9 of them. And
Chris Carter!
And you learn from the mobile game that there were actually thousands of them at one point. So.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So the Keyblade is not nearly as special.
Somehow.
Yeah, basically, Kingdom Hearts is the Keyblade is not nearly as important as it was made out to be, but it's still pretty important. So we'll keep going. So yeah, Roxas has a Keyblade. Yeah. They want him because if you use the Keyblade to kill the Heartless, it releases their hearts, and then they can gather those hearts to make their own Kingdom Hearts. That's the organization's final goal. They're trying to create.
Okay. Is Kingdom Hearts a door or a moon?
So Kingdom Hearts is the heart of all worlds. It looks like a giant moon, but I don't know if anyone actually knows exactly what it is. But essentially, it's a giant repository for knowledge and power. It is the heart of all worlds. All hearts originate from Kingdom Hearts. So in theory, all their hearts originally came from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
That's kind of the gist of it. So yeah, they're trying to open a door to Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts is not a door. There is a door that leads to Kingdom Hearts. And yes, it looks like a giant moon. I don't know. Does that answer your question? You can just say no. Okay. Okay, so yeah, basically they're trying to when Roxas kills Heartless, the Hearts Head go back to the world that never was, which is nobody's home world, and where they are creating their own version of Kingdom Hearts. When Kingdom Hearts is created or completed, it allows the nobodies to finally have hearts and exist. As because basically nobodies don't.
So why is this?
What?
It's
why is it bad?
Why is this a bad thing?
Because they're essentially capturing people's hearts. That's not a good thing. And also, you learn in Kingdom Hearts 2, the way they're going about this is also pretty bad.
Good thing.
Capturing people's hearts? That's not a good thing. That's a horrible thing.
Oh, you cut out. I didn't hear any of that.
Oh, I just said you just said why. You asked why you asked why it was a bad thing.
Yeah, but you cut out the entire explanation. The entire explanation got cut out.
Well, it's a bad thing because they're capturing.
Anything you said.
They're capturing people's hearts. That's a bad thing. Hearts should be free.
But I thought they already didn't have hearts.
Yeah, that's why they're capturing other people's hearts. So the Heartless, when you kill a Heartless, every Heartless was once a person. When you kill them, their heart gets released and ideally rejoins Kingdom Hearts. The organization is essentially capturing those hearts and using it to create their own copy of Kingdom Hearts. Make sense? It's bad. It's basically like instead of letting someone's soul go to heaven, you stick it in your jar and put it on your shelf because it looks nice. Get it? At least that's my take on it. Also, you learn in Kingdom Hearts 2 that the way they're going about gathering hearts is also kind of bad.
So essentially, Kingdom Hearts is heaven, and they're trying to make their own fake heaven because reasons? Why don't they just go to the regular?
Wait, what? You just cut out again. You asked why they don't go to regular Kingdom Hearts, though. So the regular Kingdom Hearts is incredibly hard to get to.
Trying to make their own heaven.
So
doesn't everyone just go there when they die?
They don't want to die, though. They want to live and have their own hearts because they don't have emotions because they don't have hearts.
So they want to be immortal and then also create. So they want to be immortal and also create their own version of heaven.
Basically, they're trying to not necessarily be immortal. They just don't want to die. And if they do die, they don't go to Kingdom Hearts. They don't have hearts, so they just fade from existence. Is kind of what you're led to believe.
They already lost their hearts.
Yes, when they turned into a nobody, they lost their hearts. That's how they turned into a nobody.
Yeah, but why did that happen?
Why'd that happen? You keep cutting out. What the heck?
Yeah, why does the Council of Xenonauts...
The Organization 13? You're gone. He's gone.
Yes. Why did they become heartless? Oh, no.
What?
Hold.
Oh, well, he's cutting out bad. What a dumpster fire this podcast is. Hey, what'd he just send? Oh, okay. Oh my god, is that what the problem has been the whole time? He's been downloading something this entire time.
No, only just now.
Okay, well, okay, so that's why your internet. Yeah, okay. The whole time he was cutting out, he was trying to download something.
All right. Well, I've discovered that I can't.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I needed it for later. I've apparently not.
Okay. Anyways,
My back. I stopped.
Yeah, you're back. You're good.
My back.
Yes, you're here. So you were
Okay,
asking
so
why don't they go to
apparently
the?
I can't do that while this is going.
No, you cannot. I told you that. All right.
No, I was asking why they become. I was asking why did they become heartless in the first.
Oh, he's cutting out again. So a lot of them lost their hearts because a lot of them willingly gave up their hearts so that they could follow Xehanort in his quest for darkness. Others.
Why does he want darkness?
More on that later. We don't actually. So we don't actually directly know how a lot of. I mean, maybe somewhere in the deep lore it explains it, but we don't know exactly how all of them became nobodies. We just know that they did. And you also find out later that pretty much everything they're working towards right now is actually just working towards Xehanort's greater goal. Get it?
Ah.
Yeah, so they're trying to create Kingdom Hearts.
Basically, he's
that's all you need to know.
Because.
Yes. Okay, so right now all you need to know, they're trying to gather hearts to create their own.
As complicated as this, you tell me they never explain the central premise?
No, they do explain it. It doesn't need to be explained right now. Like, right now all you need to know is that they're trying to gather hearts to create their own Kingdom Hearts, and that is a bad thing. Get it?
Sure.
Okay. So anyways, Roxas is now one of the organization. Axel is put in charge of training Roxas, and they quickly become friends, and every day Axel takes him to Twilight Town so they can eat ice cream on top of the clock tower. There's the ice cream. So the lady shows it. Yeah, so basically shortly after Roxas shows up, a new girl is introduced. The organization gathers in the round room where all their crazy tall chairs are, and they welcome their 14th member, a girl named Shion. Yeah, a girl named Shion. You're too far from your mic again. So yeah, girl named Shion. She always keeps.
Here.
Okay, now I can hear you. Yeah, so she keeps her hood on at all times. You don't see her face for a while. But after this, several of the members are sent to Castle Oblivion. This is when the events of Chain of Memories take place. And while Axel is gone, Roxas and Shion are paired together for their missions. And basically, Roxas is in charge of training Shion. They start to bond, and Shion suddenly starts talking and reveals her face, and reveals that she looks just like Kairi, except she has black hair. At least that's how she looks to Roxas, because later it's revealed that she actually looks different to every person who sees her. More on that later, I guess. Maybe not, though. That's really not that important. That's just a side note about her. She also reveals that she has a Keyblade, too. A few days after this, Roxas falls into a coma, and it lasts several weeks. This happens at the same time Sora is put to sleep. And I think it also has something to do with Shion absorbing his
digital pod?
No, he's not. Yeah, so when Sora was put into his digital pod thing to have his memories restored, Roxas falls into a coma.
I've already lost track of what's happened in which game.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Which game are we on? Is this game number 4?
Technically game number 3.
No, not technically. How many have we got? Is this the 4th game you're talking about?
It's the 3rd game we're talking about, but it's the 4th one that came out. Like I said, I'm talking about this one before Kingdom Hearts 2 because it's a lot easier to talk about them in that order.
Okay, so we've got Kingdom Hearts 1.
So we got 1, then Chain of Memories.
We got Chain of Memories.
Then 358 over 2.
Rebirth. Are we on 358 divided by 2, Kingdom Hearts 2. The proper sequel, even though the other games were sequels.
Yes. All right, let's just keep going. You're just prolonging your suffering. But basically, so Roxas is asleep. When he wakes up, he finds that Shion has been leaving seashells for him in his bed. Roxas finally wakes up and learns that several members have died at Castle Oblivion. Basically, the ones that were killed.
Oh, right, the guys who were killed.
Yeah, the people killed in the last game are now dead in this game. Yeah, we're basically now caught up with the events that happened. Yeah, we're back. We're caught up with the events. Basically, now everything.
We're caught up to where we were.
Yeah, basically. But now we've seen it from Roxas' perspective. So now Axel's back, and Roxas and Shion decide they want, like, Roxas has the idea they should all three hang out together, and they start doing that. They all become good friends, eating ice cream together and whatnot.
Yep.
Roxas
the ice
starts.
cream is the key. It'll
Yeah.
come back.
Also, quick side note. As I said, nobody's aren't supposed to have. Nobody's aren't supposed to have emotions. So the fact that these three are able to become friends is kind of a big deal. You know, when they're together, they seem to have emotions. Yeah, get it?
Sure.
I don't know. That's kind of why the ice cream is a big deal. It's basically his concept of friendship revolves entirely around eating ice cream.
In Kyrie.
Yeah. Okay. Roxas starts finding out, though, like he suddenly starts experiencing Sora's memories. He asks his superiors about this, and they refuse to answer. And, you know, they are all...
Sora still heartless then?
No, Sora only stayed heartless for like a few minutes.
Then why is Roxas still here?
That's another extraordinary thing. It's something about strength of Sora's heart or something allowed him and his nobody to exist at the same time. But later on, you will see that that is not true. You'll see very shortly that that's not actually true.
Is Roxas the digital clone or something?
Kind of. No, but you'll see. Roxas basically he starts getting suspicious of the organization because they're being weirdly nebulous towards him, and
oh really?
Starts to question their
the
motives.
Black cloaks in the Gothic cathedral didn't tip you off?
That's all he knows. He's like not even a year old. Meanwhile, Sora is still asleep in his pod. He gets moved to Twilight Town by Diz and Namine while they work to restore his memories. Shio runs into Riku during one of her missions, and he questions who she is and her ability to wield the Keyblade, and suggests that she should leave the organization and merge with her original self. More on that later. Shion is torn. She knows that this is probably... Basically, Shion wants to stay with her friends, so she doesn't do that.
Start more on that later count.
I'm the editor, and I will not do that.
I know. We don't have an editor.
I'm the editor. So Shion eventually learns that she is actually a replica of Roxas, created by Xemnas. So Sora's memories have been leaking because of... What?
Shion is replica?
Yeah, she's a replica. So basically, Sora's memories have been leaking, I think because of what's going on with Namine. His strongest memories are of Kairi, which is why Shion looks like Kairi. So basically, Xemnas created Shion so that he could use her as a replacement if Roxas stopped being compliant, which kind of does happen. But basically, Namine restores Sora's memories, and the more of Sora's memories are restored, basically, it starts to affect Shion, and Shion starts to actually look like Sora instead of Kairi. I don't know, it's kind of a side note. But Shion ultimately leaves the organization. She's angry, she wants to be her own person, and that causes her to have a falling out with Roxas and Axel, who don't want her to leave. Things get messy. Xigbar and Axel later run into Shion, and yeah, anyways. We can skip over. Never mind. Basically, long story short, Roxas leaves the organization too.
And then she gets erased from existence retroactively.
Kind of, yeah. So Roxas basically leaves the organization too because he's sick of them treating him horrible. Axel gets sad about that, of course. Xemnas reprograms Shion to absorb Roxas and take his place, since Roxas is no longer compliant. And this would make it impossible for Sora to awaken, because she has several key memories that Sora needs to wake up. Shion attacks Roxas, he defeats her, and she basically tells him what Xemnas' plan was the whole time. Tells Roxas, it was her choice to go away now, because she understands that Sora needs to wake up to stop Xemnas. She asks Roxas to set free all the hearts that the two of them captured, and then this is where this is where Roxas says the "Who else will I have ice cream with" line that you will never stop complaining about.
Shion dies. It's stupid out of context.
Well, okay, you at least admit that. You used to say that. In
context, it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it is a weird line, but if you understand all the context behind it, you can kind of see what they were going for. Roxas, like I said, his entire concept of friendship revolves around ice cream.
You can. Great. All those philosophical concepts sound great, but it doesn't matter that when you actually have to say it, it still sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I won't argue. But anyways, Shion dies.
You just can't say without it sounding silly.
Yeah, well, anyways, Shion dies in Roxas' arms, and he cries, which, as I said, they don't have emotions, so that's not supposed to be possible for nobodies. So, yeah. Shion's nature as a replica, created from memories, makes it so that once she dies, everyone's memories of her start to fade as well. So that's basically retroactively why no one remembers her in the next game.
So wait, is she actually dead?
For now.
So there's Oh, good. So there's Heartless and Nobodies and Replicas.
Yeah, replicas are in there now too.
And then the real people.
Yeah, replicas are kind of like, they're not related. They're basically like copies. They're fake people made by
Why are
Vexen.
replicas even part of the lore? It was confusing enough with the other two things.
They become... Well, you just wait. Anyways,
Oh,
after Shion's dead,
I like.
Roxas returns to the world that never was. He now has 2 Keyblades, because I guess something about Shion dying, he inherited
Now
her
he can make the
Keyblade.
super Keyblade.
Yeah, now he has the cool tool. He can wield Oathkeeper and Oblivion, which is cool. He goes and fights. He goes to the world that never was to try to free Kingdom Hearts, and when he's there, he runs into Riku, who was sent by Diz to capture Roxas. So this is where it answers your question. Sora cannot wake up because Roxas still exists. He needs Roxas to be a complete person again, so Sora is stuck in his sleep until Roxas merges with him again. Does that answer your question?
Which question?
The question about how Roxas still exists if Sora does too. Basically, they can't both exist. One of them has to... So Roxas has to merge with Sora, or else Sora will stay asleep forever.
Okay.
Anyways.
I'm confused why he in the first place.
Anyways, Roxas almost defeats Riku, but then Riku taps into the darkness that is still in his heart, which causes him to take the form of Ansem. But he's still Riku's still the one in control, but now he looks like Ansem again. Riku then easily overpowers and captures Roxas and takes him to Diz. Diz puts Roxas into a digital version of Twilight Town while they work on merging him with Sora. And then Roxas wakes up the next morning in the virtual Twilight Town. He believes that everything from before was a dream. And he goes outside to meet his friends, Hayner, Pence, and Olette. And this is basically where the second game opens up. We good?
No.
Any questions before we move to Kingdom Hearts 2? Still having a good time? Do you need to take a breather? Should we talk about something else for a few minutes?
No, it's fine. I'm good.
You good? All right.
It's all good.
All right, Kingdom Hearts 2. This one really feels like a proper sequel to the first game. So this is one that actually continued.
Because the other two were?
Well, I mean, this one actually feels like the first one. This Chain of Memories was a card game. 358 over 2 days.
Just a card game?
Well, I mean, it's not. It uses
I thought it was. Okay,
it's,
so I thought the way the mechanics worked was that it was like a turn-based RPG and the cards were the items.
No, it's not turn-based. It is still like an action RPG, but the attacks are all based on cards instead. It's still real-time, though.
Does it play out like a card game? Do you even walk around?
Yeah, you walk around. No, it doesn't really play out like a traditional card game. The cards are just kind of... It's a very unique game. That's what I'll say.
The cards are symbolic.
What I'm saying is, this game feels like... Oh yeah, and then 358 was basically a mission-based game for the Nintendo DS, so it didn't really feel exactly like the first game. Kingdom Hearts 2 feels like a natural progression from the first game, mechanic-wise and gameplay-wise. That's what I meant by it's a proper sequel. Alright, anyways.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so this continues Sora's story. Things continue to get more complicated. You ready? Alright, so 1 year after the events of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Chain of Memories, the game starts with Roxas doing the Dive into the Heart, which is basically just where you do your character creation in this game. Serves more gameplay than story reasons. But yeah, do the Dive into the Heart, do the tutorial stuff. Wakes up the next morning in the virtual Twilight Town, although he does not know it's a virtual town. He thinks it's just Twilight Town. He goes and meets his friend, Hayner, Pence, and Olette, who are also virtual people. The four say it's almost the end of their summer.
Live, or do they die when he wakes up?
Well, I mean, it's not a dream. It's just a virtual world that he is placed in. It doesn't hinge on him.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like the Matrix.
That's what I said earlier.
Oh, I didn't catch it. Anyways, they say it's almost the end of their summer vacation. Before the summer's over, they want to go to the beach before they have to go to school. So the game starts. You basically go around, do jobs around town to raise money. But before you get to buy your tickets to the beach, a Dusk shows up, which is another kind of nobody. It's one of like the weaker nobodies that don't look like humans. Shows up and steals their money. And then other weird stuff happens around town. There's like this thing where you investigate the mysteries of Twilight Town for a school project. But basically all the weird things are...
Twilight Town, a young adult novel by E.J. Fletcher.
Yeah, but basically the weird things happening are glitches in the simulation. And Axel... Yeah, Axel also infiltrates the simulation because he's trying to bring Roxas back to the organization. So Axel shows up, and he's the one that brought all the Dusks as well.
Villain?
Huh?
Is Axel the villain, or does he just think he's the villain?
I guess more the second one. Right now, he's just trying to bring his friend back. That's kind of his entire drive. He wants Roxas back, so he's trying to get him out of the simulation and back to the organization. Roxas doesn't want to go. He doesn't.
What's
Roxas doesn't remember.
doing right now?
Xehanort is, well, heartless. Xehanort's heartless, which was Ansem from the first game, is currently still dead. Xemnas is Xehanort's nobody. So right now, I guess he's just being Xemnas.
I thought Xemnas was dead.
No, not yet.
Which guy is the guy who died? Was that Venmus?
There were a few people that died.
The one that you made me look up. Venmus?
Oh, Vexen. That was Vexen.
Vexen.
Yeah, not Xemnas.
No, I thought his name was Vemmis.
Yeah, no, it's Vexen.
That's great.
Anyways, so Roxas beats Axel. Ultimately, he ends up at the old mansion at the edge of town. There's rumors of a girl who watches from the window, and it's actually Naminé. Inside, he finds Diz's lab and meets Diz himself, Huh?
I thought she got erased from existence already.
No? When did that happen?
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen. Naminé is fine. She's helping restore Sora's memories. Inside, they find Diz's lab and meet Diz, who explains that Roxas must essentially be merged back with Sora for Sora to wake up. Roxas
already knew that.
Yeah, we did. I mean, if you were playing these games in the order they came out, this is when you would have learned it.
Oh.
I mean, I kind of skipped ahead when I explained that. That wasn't really fully even explained in the last game.
Oh.
Yeah. So Roxas resists this, but it kind of comes down to him having no choice. He watches Sora's pod open and says, "Do you want to read Roxas's line?"
Oh, you're lucky. It looks like my summer vacation is over.
Yeah.
Cue sad music.
Yeah. Sora awakens in the real Twilight Town with Donald and Goofy. They only have memories up until they arrive at Castle Oblivion, and no idea
what do you mean the real Twilight Town? I thought it was Virtual Land.
Yeah, no, Sora's in the real one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
Sora...
is this one is Roxas dead now?
Yes, he's merged back with Sora.
That happens just like that? I figured that would take more time.
Kind of, I don't know. There's a little more. You get a little more info about it later, but yeah, essentially that's the moment when Roxas
comes back to life again somehow later.
Yeah, pretty much. But Roxas, right now, Roxas is essentially, he's not exactly dead. He's just become part of Sora. So, anyways, Sora awakens in the real Twilight Town with Donald and Goofy. They don't remember anything that happened in Castle Oblivion, so they have no idea.
Mickey is still in a hellhole.
No, he's with Riku. Remember, they're in the realm between.
Yeah, they're in the Shadow Kingdom Hearts land.
And actually, spoiler, no, they're not. They made it out.
Remember Riku? Out?
I think.
No, I don't remember Riku. I don't remember what he did.
Riku showed up at the end of the last game.
And then they made a clone?
Yeah, they set out. Remember, in the last game, Riku showed up and captured Roxas. He's the one that brought him to his Diz to be put into the digital world. So Riku's out, and Mickey's off doing his own thing, but he shows up very soon, actually. Basically, Jiminy's journal is also empty. Yeah, Jiminy's still been here this entire time.
All right, I forgot Jiminy Cricket was in this game.
Yeah, he only serves to write the journal so that you can have the journal entries and stuff to read throughout the game. Anyways, the only message left in his journal is thank Naminé, because even that's been erased. But yeah, it says thank Naminé. They wrote that message at the end of Chain of Memories. The trio, so they explore Twilight Town. They meet the real Hayner, Pence, and Olette. They don't remember Roxas at all, of course, because these are the real ones, but they find Sora vaguely familiar. And basically it implies that there's something about their friendship that transcended the virtual world. It's never fully explained. But they have a brief run-in with Mickey, who tells them they board the train. So they hop onto this weird magic train that takes them to the mysterious tower where they meet Yen Sid, who is the wizard from The Sorcerer's Apprentice. And by that I mean the short from Fantasia, not the Nicolas Cage movie. Still following.
I thought you were talking about Merlin from The Sword and the Stone for a second, and it's like, he's not named Yen Sid?
Yeah, no, Merlin's in this game too, but he was in
Sword and the Stone Merlin?
Yeah, no, he was in the last game too, actually. He just teaches you some magic. He's not an important character. Yen Sid is more important, but yeah, he's the weird wizard with the eyebrows and the big beard.
I don't even remember. The only thing I remember about that is Chernobog.
Yeah, which that's the devil you fought in the first game too. I don't know if I said that. Anyways.
Oh, you said it was literally Satan. I guess it was actually Chernobog.
Which I guess he's not technically Satan. Anyways, basically you meet Yen Sid. He gives you new clothes that give you the ability to use the drive forms, which are essentially just another gameplay mechanic for this one. And they tell you must travel to different worlds again and protect them from the Heartless and the organization. But so you get your gummy ship back, but the keyholes are all still sealed. What?
The gummy ship?
Yeah, that was the thing you used to travel between worlds in the first game.
I don't remember a gummy ship.
It was just a footnote that I mentioned. But yeah, it's not important. You use it to travel between worlds.
Oh.
But yeah, it's also like where you do little Star Fox sections of the game. It's fun.
Oh, I see.
Anyways,
Is Star Fox in this game too?
yep. So the keyholes are all
He
still sealed
is?
from. No, he is not actually. No,
I asked and you said yep.
I misheard you.
Oh, what did you think I said?
I just thought you said like there's Star Fox sections in this game, and yes, there are, but it's not literally Star
No.
Fox.
I thought you were
Anyways,
saying Star Fox was somehow in this franchise, and
no,
it's
he
like,
is
are
not
you
actually.
kidding me?
Yeah, but since the
What?
keyholes are all still sealed after the first game, they have to find a new way to travel between worlds, and there's basically a new series of keyholes you have to discover. So inside each world, there's like an object that not some object of significance becomes the keyhole, and one of them is like Jack Sparrow's compass.
Oh.
Yes, he's in this
Oh,
game.
good. Jack Sparrow's in this game. That's fine.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
some Maleficent is back, revived by magic or something. Now P is their henchman.
here, yeah, you take.
Sora's first travel at Disney World.
Can
Fight
you
the
talk more
Harlots,
clearly?
as well as how his run.
Go back to your storyteller voice.
Oh, we're long past that. He learns more about Roxas from the members he meets, who he says looks like him. He also hears rumors of Riku being active, and Kairi is brought to Twilight Town, where she's abducted by Axel, Sora, before Sora can teach her.
Reacher.
Disney World's in this game. Disney Castle, Atlantia, Port
Atlantica.
Royal, 100-acre wood, the Heffalumps, the Land of Dragons, China,
It's just China.
Agrabah,
It's the
Space
it's the Mulan
Paranoids,
world.
Pridelands, Beast Castle, Olympus, the Coliseum, and Halloween Town and Timeless River.
Yep.
Jerry learned from Mickey that Ansem they fought was not Ansem at all, but was actually the Heartness of Xehanort, who took Ansem's identity, Zemnis, who's his nobody.
Yep.
And they have a
Zemnis
massive battle against the Heartless at Radiant Garden, a rebuilt Hollow Bastion that got blown up earlier. And after the battle, Zemnis tells Sora that Mickey knows where Riku is, and Sykes reveals their goal of creating their own Kingdom Hearts so they can get their hearts back, because they don't have hearts for some reason. That hasn't been explained.
I've explained it 4 times.
Why they don't have hearts to begin with? You never explained that.
Yes, I did. They lost their. So nobody's created when someone loses their heart.
Yeah.
So what part of that doesn't make sense?
Why does the council not have hearts?
Because they're nobodies.
So why don't they just get their hearts back?
Because you can't just get your heart back. That's what they're trying to do. That's why they're trying
did
to.
It.
Huh? Sora did it? Well, yeah, but he had to use Kairi's weird Princess of Heart magic. That's not a normal circumstance.
They've been flooding the world with Heartless for Sora to destroy so they can collect their hearts. Sora fights off more organization members, killing a few of them, and Axel helps Sora escape a bunch of nobodies, giving his life in the process as he realizes it's helping Sora is basically helping Roxas. Okay, so I guess Axel's dead now. That's
Yeah,
great. I'm sure
for
he'll
now.
be back later, and he'll also be Xehanort.
Yeah, here
Sora's
I guess.
game,
Do you want
the world.
Uh,
What?
I was just gonna a little footnote here. Basically, it's revealed later that if a nobody and their heartless are both destroyed, the real person comes back.
What?
Does that make sense?
Okay.
If you're heartless
Why?
and
If you destroy this person's body and their soul, they'll just come back to life.
I guess they merge back together and become, a real human.
How does anyone actually die in this world? Because apparently if you die, you just become a disembodied soul, but then if your body gets killed, you just come back to life.
No, that's only if you get your heart taken by the heartless or lose your heart some other way. It's not if you just die, you die. But if you get your heart taken by some weird magical way, I don't know, it's very inconsistent. This game is not known for its straightforward plot, obviously.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
you're the expert here. You seem like you know what it is, and if even you're confused, what?
I'm not confused. No, I get it. It's just I don't know how to explain it in a way that'll satisfy you.
You know what they say: if you can't explain it, you gotta paint it.
Yeah. Anyways, do you want me to take over from here?
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Okay, so yeah, they basically Axel helps them. Sora in the gang. That's Sora, Donald, and Goofy. They go to the world that never was and fight Zemnis, or they plan to fight Zemnis, but when Sora gets there, he blacks out and has a battle within himself against Roxas. Roxas.
Good. Roxas is back.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, he's still inside of Sora, but this is basically Roxas confronting Sora. He asks him, like, why did it have to be you? He's basically saying, why is Sora the one that has the right to exist out of the two of them?
Because
And
Sora's real and Roxas is not. Get
yeah,
over it.
that's basically what Roxas comes to terms with. He loses the fight to Sora, realizes that, Sora is worthy, I guess, and comes to terms with it.
It's just like that one.
He accepts it, makes his peace, and then he has like a vision of being with Axel again. And Axel asks him, "Do you really believe you don't have a heart?" That's just, I don't know, kind of meaning. I don't know, kind of a more popular quote, I guess, from Axel. But yeah. And spoiler, Roxas actually does kind of have a heart. It's revealed later that nobodies can actually gain hearts by being like basically through friendship and stuff, like being around people they care about. They can actually essentially grow a new heart. But Xemnas never told them that because he wanted to keep them working toward his ultimate goal.
You mean the writers never told them that because they hadn't thought of that yet?
Yes, yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly how it happened. But in game,
I'm starting to get a sense of this.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how it works.
The entire plot was just made up as they went, and then it's just constantly like, oh gosh, it's like a soap opera.
It's constantly recontextualizing things that happened before. Yes.
You thought it was Roxas, but it was me, Neo.
Anyways, yeah. So after this, they all go to the castle that never was, where Sora is finally reunited with Kairi and Riku. Riku still looks like Ansem though, and
wait, why does Riku look like Ansem again?
Because he gave himself over to the darkness to overpower Roxas, and by doing that, basically, Ansem is the embodiment of the darkness within Riku. So by Riku giving himself over to it,
who's the evil guy, Ansem or Xehanort?
They're both. Ansem is Xehanort.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that.
He's Xehanort's heartless.
A different Ansem.
Yes, there's Ansem the Wise. Yeah, so basically,
but he's not the same Ansem.
Yeah. So basically, Roxas. Sora also learns about how Roxas and Naminé are. So basically, Roxas is his nobody. Naminé is Kairi's nobody. He finally learns that, and then he also meets up with Mickey and Diz, and it's revealed that Diz is actually the real Ansem the Wise. He's been the real Ansem the Wise the whole time, and he's also voiced by Christopher Lee.
Disney.
Is
this Christopher Lee?
Yeah, he was.
Neat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He said he would only do one take and then he would walk out.
I guess so. I don't know. That definitely explains some of the deliveries on a few of his lines, but overall, he sounds pretty good. Anyways, real Ansem tries to digitize Xemnas' Kingdom Hearts to stop him. It fails and the machine explodes, seemingly killing him.
So the real Ansem is the good guy.
Yes, real Ansem is good. Ansem, I always refer to him as Ansem the Wise, just for simplicity. If I say Ansem, I'm talking about bad Ansem. If I say Ansem the Wise, I'm talking about the real Ansem.
Then Riku stops looking like Xehanort.
Yeah, Riku returns back to his original form, and Xemnas gets away. Sora and Maleficent and Pete show up and help them a little bit. Anyways, Sora kills the remaining organization members. Xemnas is the only one left. Sora and Riku team up to take on Xemnas. Afterwards, they wonder how to escape, but Naminé opens a door for them, because I guess she's inside of Kairi now. The group escapes through the door. Sora and Riku are left behind, because they have to defeat Xemnas, who wasn't actually dead. There's a few more fights.
Wait.
Xemnas has like 7 forms. Okay, it's a fun fight, but it's long.
Where in the canon does it happen where you stab the guy and then everyone T-poses?
Never.
What game is that?
I don't know.
You put a video of it in the playlist. I know it happens.
Oh, no, that was a guy playing with a randomizer. That wasn't actually in the game. That was he basically used a randomizer, and when he was supposed to fight the boss in the Mulan world, I can't remember what his name is, the villain from Mulan, instead of that boss spawning, it spawned in Lingering Will, who just immediately killed him, and killed him so quickly it broke the game. And then he got the Saved by the King thing. Basically, every time you die in this game, there's a very slim chance, or at least if you die against a boss, there's a very slim chance that the king will rescue you, where it'll basically give you the chance to play as King Mickey to save Sora and not lose the fight. But yeah, he got that, but since he broke the game, Mickey just spawned in T-posing. That video's called Lingering William.
Explain how that fits into the lore.
That's not in the lore. He was playing with a randomizer.
Explain it. It happened. I saw it, so it fits in somehow.
Moving on.
Where does your precious lore fit in now?
It doesn't there. Okay, we're moving on. Sora and Riku are trapped in the Dark Margin. They beat Xemnas. Everything fades away.
Now, the Dark Margin?
It's basically the boundary of the Realm of Darkness, I think. It looks like basically a...
You just read that directly off the document.
Yes, I did, because that's how I feel about it.
The boundary of the Realm of Darkness, I think.
Yeah, I think question mark. It's basically it appears a few times, but it just looks like a shore, like a beach with black sand, kind of, and everything's dark. But yeah, they're trying to figure out how to escape. They don't know how to escape, but basically
I've
they
lost
find them.
track of what anybody's trying to accomplish at any one point
Well,
anymore.
at this point, they've basically won. All their friends have escaped. Xemnas is dead. And Riku and Sora.
And yet, there appears to be at least another 10 pages of notes.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
Sora and Riku are trapped in Dark Margin. They find a message in a bottle from Kairi on the shore, and when they read it, a door to light is magically opened. They pass through it, and they appear in Destiny Islands. The gang's all back together, and then a letter from the king arrives on the shore, and they start reading it, and the game zooms out and ends. And that's the end of the story for now. That's the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. Yay!
Okay, wait a minute. Kingdom Hearts 3 the only game that continues directly on from this one?
No, they all continue directly on from this one.
I thought it was going to be just like 10 years of prequels and then the final game.
No, there's like the next game is a prequel, then there's the mobile game, which not everything that happens in the mobile game ends up being like super important.
Cut to commercial soon, probably.
Yeah, I'm cutting right now.
Great.
See you after the commercial break.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Who's gonna be around? We're gonna listen.
You ready? What a good ad break that was.
Who's that girl? What's her name? Is she cool? Is she lame?
All right, ready to roll? Ready to keep rolling? You ready to keep this Kingdom Hearts party going?
She's like 1 in a million.
You ready? All right, I'm gonna take your silence as a yes. Next up is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep.
I'm not silent. I'm talking right now.
Okay, well, are you ready?
Did I cut out? When did I cut out?
Oh, you didn't cut out. You were just mumbling incoherently.
Oh.
You ready to go?
No.
Do you need a breather?
No. Keep it going.
All right, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. This one's a prequel to the first game. It takes place roughly 10 years before the first game. Follows.
How is any of this going to be relevant?
It's very, very relevant, actually. You will see. It's very relevant.
Can't they just tell a linear story? What do you people have against linear stories? Oh no, we gotta be deep and make an artistic statement. We gotta be like, oh hey, if we just make it a jigsaw puzzle, we just shovel everything around, Michael Scott style, that'll make it artsy. That'll make it so that we can get all the awards. No one will know what's going on, but at least we can claim that if you don't get it, it's just because you're too dumb to understand. And then we can create a gatekeeping community that acts like they're better than everyone else because they played all 14 Kingdom Hearts games and the special DLC expansion pack in the mobile game and be like, oh, I know what I'm talking about, but you don't know, you must be stupid. Well, screw you, man. Why?
You ready? All right, let's just keep going. So yeah, this game follows Terra, Ventus, and Aqua, who this game originally came out for the PSP, but was later re-released for the PlayStation 4 and such. Technically, is 3 short stories. There's one for each character that you play through, and once you play through all of them, it kind of tells one complete story. Make sense? I'm not gonna read it like 3 stories. I'm just gonna tell you everything that happens in chronological order. You dead? Hello? Did you die? I think he died. Alright, we're just gonna keep rolling. So yeah, it starts with a cold opening where you see, or I don't know. You start with Master Xehanort. He brings an unconscious Ventus to Destiny Islands. His heart has been damaged, and Xehanort plans to just basically let Ventus live out his life in Destiny Islands. But then Ventus's heart connects to a new heart nearby. Spoiler, it's Sora. And Ventus sticks his arm into the air and reveals that he has a Keyblade. So instead of leaving him there, Xehanort decides to give him to Ericus to train as a Keyblade Master. Alright. I'm a little worried about Mingus. I think I may have killed him.
Huh?
Oh, you're still there? Oh, good.
I've been here.
Okay. I was worried I fried your brain. Alright, so years later, in the land of departure...
Did, but here I am still.
Yeah, so years later, we're in the land of departure. It's another place. It's another world in the realm between. 3 Keyblade wielders named Terra, Ventus, and Aqua, as mentioned. They're training under Master Ericus, who is voiced by Mark Hamill himself. They're trained to become Keyblade Masters. What?
So he's a villain then, right?
Not exactly, no.
Why? Mark Hamill plays a good guy? That never happens.
He played Luke Skywalker.
He played Luke Skywalker. He only voices villains.
Oh, yeah, well. Anyways, it's time for Aqua and Terra to undergo the Mark of Mastery exam. Master Xehanort shows up. Master Xehanort, side note, no one knows he's...
Xehanort before he's a villain?
Well, I mean, he is a villain, but no one knows that yet. He's an old friend of Ericus, and...
Oh, he's Palpatine.
Yeah, Ericus... Yeah, he's exactly Palpatine.
Cool.
You're gonna see... you're gonna see where just how close the comparisons to Palpatine get. Anyways,
Why does he yell out unlimited power and then zap Mace Windu with lightning?
Not
Is there a bald black guy in these games?
Not exactly. Anyways, Master Xehanort.
Actually, a bald black man in a disguise.
Well, I mean, Xehanort is bald and he has tan skin, but he's not black.
Yeah, but he's the guy who's the Palpatine. Where's the bald black man? He can lightning and then shoot out a window.
Okay, the comparisons aren't that close.
When does he go up to Anakin and be like,
well, it's not actually Anakin, but...
the Sith will rule the galaxy.
Alright. Anyways,
I think that's the Rise of Skywalker quote, I can't be sure.
I hope you didn't just quote that in front of me.
I might have.
Oh my God.
I'm just quoting Palpatine.
Oh my God, how could you?
Dude,
Anyways.
I'm mocking it. It doesn't matter.
Alright, well, Master Xehanort, right, shows up to watch the exam, but he secretly sabotages the exam to draw the darkness out of Terra. And because they see the darkness in Terra, Aqua passes the test, but Terra does not. And Terra's very upset about this. What do you mean?
So the way that they do this test is they basically just tell you, oh, this is just as bad as the sorting house for the friggin' Slytherin. Hey guys, guess what? You're a bunch of douchebags. Go with your collection of douchebags and expect everyone to think less of you.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big Harry Potter fan, so I can't speak to that much. But in this case, it's more just a test of their proficiency with the Keyblade. I don't think it hinges on you being able to fight the darkness, but because he had that darkness that he was failing to control, it was a big mark against him.
Which is stupid, because I mean, that's like, oh, sorry, I guess you're always going to be evil. You
okay,
can't do anything right.
In Star Wars context, that would be like someone taking an exam to become a Jedi Master, and during the exam they force choke one of the instructors. What do you think would happen?
It would be more like, turns out this 8-year-old boy, he can't be as indoctrinated as easily, and also he loves his mother, so that's obviously a problem for our order. It's more like that, and that was the whole point.
Terra is 20 years old.
Yeah, well, guess what? The Jedi suck, and that was the point.
Well, yeah, I know that was the point, but in this case, that's maybe the point here. Okay, they're not super specific about what they're testing for. All you know is you see him do some tests, and Terra's darkness comes out, and Ericus tells him that he failed to control the darkness within him, and that he needed more training before he was able to be a Keyblade Master. And he's right. Terra is a mess. You will see that later. Anyways.
Was Terra the villain?
What?
Is it anything like Terra from Teen Titans?
No. Terra is a man.
No, I know. I was meaning in terms of characterization and character arc.
It's been so many years since I've watched that show. Terra is basically Anakin. Terra's basically Anakin Skywalker. Let's just put it that way. You'll see what I mean. Anyways, a bunch of monsters suddenly show up called the Unversed. They're totally not the Heartless. They begin appearing in other worlds. Xehanort disappears.
So they are the Heartless, but this is a prequel and they don't know that yet?
Oh, no, they're not actually the Heartless, but they're basically, functionally in the game, they work the same as the Heartless. They even look a lot.
Okay, I get it.
There's even, Heartless equivalent. There's an Unversed equivalent for every Heartless.
Yeah.
It's just
It's like when you're playing Control and you go to the mines and they throw in the sharpened Taken because they're like the Taken from Alan Wake, but they're functionally in terms of the enemies, but they're not. They're still the other things.
Sure.
I get it.
Anyways, bunch of monsters.
Made sense to me.
Yeah. Okay. A bunch of monsters called the Unversed appear. So Terra is sent to destroy the Unversed and find Xehanort. Aqua is sent to keep an eye on Terra because Ericus doesn't trust him. Ventus is whiny and a baby. And also side note, Ventus looks exactly like Roxas.
Wait a minute, I've already forgotten who Ventus is.
This game is his introduction. He looks just like Roxas. And
Wait,
he's
was he not in the other games?
No, this is his first appearance.
Who's the guy I'm thinking?
Vexen,
Zenmus?
again.
Okay.
Different guy.
Zenmus. I was thinking of Zenmus.
No. Anyways, Ventus gets provoked by Vanitas, who is actually... Vanitas is basically... He wears like a black suit, and he is Xehanort's...
Names.
I know,
I can't keep track of them. They all sound too similar.
Well, there's a point. There's a reason. Okay, there's a reason for that. Ventus and Vanitas...
Yeah, I know, they're all Xehanort.
No, they're not. Xehanort... Anyways, Vanitas is Xehanort's apprentice, basically.
Okay.
But there's a reason his name sounds very similar to Ventus that we will get into. But yeah, Ventus goes after his friends against Ericus's commands. They travel through the various Disney worlds and hijinks ensue. Terra accidentally steals Princess Aurora's heart is one of the hijinks.
Wait, what do you mean how do you accidentally...
Maleficent.
Princess Aurora's Sleeping Beauty, that's right.
Yeah, Maleficent basically provokes him and like somehow exploits the darkness in him to make him do it. He doesn't intentionally do it. But basically throughout his story, he accidentally helps a lot of Disney villains because he's looking for information about Xehanort, and they convince him to do bad things that he doesn't realize are bad at the time. I don't know. Oh yeah, So yeah, Disney worlds in this game. You go to the Castle of Dreams from Cinderella, Deep Space from Stitch, Disney Town, which is just Disney Town, Dwarf Woodlands from Snow White, Olympus Coliseum from Hercules, Enchanted Dominion is the Sleeping Beauty world.
Where's Toontown?
That's
With
not
the
in.
cogs and
I
the
guess
robots.
Disney Town would be the closest.
I want to see the colored animals with the gags and the robots. Why can't we have that in this game? I like Toontown.
I know you do.
We used to fight, which is better, Toontown or RuneScape, but it turns out you can't really compare them. They're just different games.
Yeah, they are. I like RuneScape better, though. That's a personal preference.
Yeah. Well, it's just a personal preference. It's like, some people like puzzle games, some people don't. It's not because puzzle games are bad, it's just I don't like puzzle games.
Yeah, well said. Anyways, so as I said, Terra gets tempted by the darkness, inadvertently helps several of the villains. Eventually he learns that Xehanort is after the Princesses of Heart, and Xehanort offers to take him as his apprentice and help him use the darkness to gain power, because Terra wants to be powerful. So there's your Palpatine Anakin comparison. He tells him
Was Terra in the other games, but he had a different name and face the whole time?
Yes, actually. Kind of.
Just retconning him in awkwardly.
No, not at all. Maybe.
Which character was he? Roxas?
He was Xehanort.
He was Xehanort.
He actually was Xehanort.
So, okay, it turns out I was right.
Yeah, Terra actually is one of the Xehanorts, kind of. We'll get to that. Xehanort takes him as apprentice. Offers to take him as apprentice.
Who made this?
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it was one guy. Also, Vanitas is the source of the Unversed. We learn that he was created by the darkness extracted from Ventus's heart, which is why Ventus's heart was. So basically, I'll just skip ahead a little bit here. Basically, Xehanort was trying to create the Keyblade, or Keyblade. I don't know, however you pronounce it. They always say Keyblade, but I'm just going to say Keyblade because it's another way you... It's the Greek letter Chi. It's like, it looks kind of like a weird X. It's the Keyblade, but I mean, they always say Keyblade, but Xehanort, even in a really weird out of place line, says it's also pronounced Kai, but it makes no difference which one you say. So I'm going to say Keyblade, just for the sake of distinct. Let's just say without subtitles, it was very impossible to tell when they were talking about the Keyblade or the Keyblade. So since we don't have subtitles, I'm just going to say the Keyblade, so we know the difference. So Xehanort's trying to create the Keyblade, which will allow him to access Kingdom Hearts. More on that later. But to create the Keyblade, you basically have to create you have to make a clash between like some very powerful light and some very powerful darkness. He was trying to use Ventus to do that. So he extracted Ventus's darkness from him and turned it into Vanitas. The plan was to make them both strong and make them fight to forge the Keyblade. Anyways, the process. Basically, in the beginning of the game, Ventus's heart was damaged when he created Vanitas, and that's why Ventus ended up being with Ericus. Never mind. Basically, Aqua and Ventus, as they're traveling the worlds, they kind of get there. They always get there after Terra and hear about all the horrible crap that he's been doing, but it's always blown out of proportions by the people telling him about it, which leads to them thinking he's a lot worse than he actually is. They worry about him. The three run into each other at Radiant Garden, team up to fight a giant Unburst, and Aqua also runs into a young Kyrie. It turns out Kyrie is actually from Radiant Garden originally, and Aqua can sense the strong light within her, since she's a Princess of Heart, and Aqua casts a charm on her that will... It's basically a protection charm that will make it so that she's ever in danger, her heart will take shelter with someone close to her. It's basically the reason... It's basically a retconned reason for why her heart went into Sora in the first game.
Yeah, because they realized that the game made no sense, so they're trying to, we gotta explain all this stuff. Just write a new thing.
I think it's one of those cases where the more you explain it, the worse it gets, though. Or the harder, the more confusing it gets. Anyways, Terra and Aqua also end up at the Destiny Islands. Oh yeah, so at separate times, Terra and Aqua end up at Destiny Islands. Terra runs into a young Riku and senses power within him and tells him...
This was only 10 years in the past.
It is. Riku's like 4 years old.
How old is Sora?
He's like 14 in the first game, so him and Riku are like 4 in this game when they run into him.
So he likes Kyrie, but she's like 10 years older than him?
No, Kyrie was also 4.
Wait, okay.
Kyrie was also a little girl when Aqua ran into her. But yeah, Terra and Aqua go to Destiny Islands. Terra meets Riku and decides he's worthy of a Keyblade and does this weird ritual where like Riku holds his Keyblade and he tells him... He basically gives him it makes it so that when Riku comes of age, he will get his own Keyblade. And so basically in the first game, when Riku said that he was the one that was supposed to get the Keyblade the whole time, he was actually telling the truth. Riku was supposed to get the Keyblade, but it went to Sora instead because Riku had darkness or something. I don't know. It moved down the list to Sora because I think Riku had been like consumed by the darkness already or something. So that's how Sora got the Keyblade instead of Riku. Aqua shows up.
He had the darkness because he didn't get the Keyblade. What kind of nonsense is that?
No, he had the darkness. That's why he didn't get the Keyblade. But Aqua shows up later and senses... I don't know, she runs into young Sora and can tell that he's tied to Ventus somehow, I think. I don't know, that part was a little confusing. Ventus, meanwhile, runs into Xehanort. He reveals that he's... Yeah, he reveals that he's planning to use Ventus's heart to create the Keyblade, which Vanitas and Ventus need to fight to create the Keyblade, but... Ericus has known this all along, apparently, so Ventus goes back to the land of departure to confront Ericus, and Ericus decides, you know what, I'm just going to kill you to keep Xehanort's plans from coming to fruition. Terra shows up and fights Ericus to protect Ventus.
Wait, who's he going to kill?
He's going to kill Ventus. Ericus was going to kill Ventus to keep Xehanort from using Ventus to get the Keyblade. Make sense?
Is Ventus a bad guy?
No, Ventus is a good guy. He's one of the 3 characters you play as in this game.
Okay, so Ericus is the bad guy.
He's their master. But yeah, he basically... I guess Ericus is kind of the closest to Mace Windu in this case. He's like the master that, he's going to try to... Yeah, basically, Ericus tries to kill Terra.
I'm the good guy. That's why I'm going to kill this child and my student to prevent
he realizes
the evil guy instead of just beating the evil guy.
You know what it actually is it's Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi when he tries to kill Ben and then immediately regrets it. It's that situation. Ericus tries to kill Ventus. Terra shows up and defends him and defeats him. Terra feels bad, but then also Ericus feels bad and says, I can't believe I came to this. Xehanort shows up and finishes off Ericus. So there's your Mace Windu analogy.
But is he black and bald?
No, he is not.
Played by Samuel L. Jackson.
He's played by Mark Hamill, so, I mean, at least a Star Wars actor. Terra... But yeah, basically, Xehanort kills Ericus.
And then told to go get the Keyblade graveyard.
Yeah, he's told to go to the Keyblade graveyard, and... The land of departure falls to darkness.
This says Keyblade Graveyard.
No, it does not. I don't know what you're looking at.
Yes, it does. Keyblade Graveyard.
Are you just trying to be annoying? Oh, down there?
It's on the next page.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's
you're ahead of me.
Keyblade Graveyard.
There we go. Keyblade Graveyard. Anyways, Ventus also ends up at Destiny Islands. Yeah, later, Ventus goes to Destiny Islands and runs into Vanitas, where he learns all about, Master Xehanort's plan to use him. And then Vanitas also tells Ventus to go to the Keyblade Graveyard. Aqua goes and meets Yen Sid, who tells her that her master is dead, and then also tells her to go to the Keyblade Graveyard. So now you have all 3 converging at the Keyblade Graveyard. This is where the Keyblade Graveyard, quick note about that, this is where the Keyblade War took place thousands of years ago.
What?
More on that later.
Wait, there's a Keyblade War now?
Yeah, thousands of years ago. Xehanort appears.
No, why? There keeps adding more. It's too much brain.
We'll get to it later. Xehanort appears with Vanitas and explains that he plans to use the Keyblade to unlock Kingdom Hearts and unleash the secrets of the Keyblade War. He basically wants to start the Keyblade War again. He wants to rebalance. He believes that light has become too powerful and that the world needs to exist in balance. So he wants to basically restart the Keyblade world to destroy the world and restore balance. Make sense?
That's
kind
to make his own Keyblade.
Well, he wants to make the Keyblade so that he can access Kingdom
He wanted
Hearts.
to make his own Kingdom Hearts so he can get the hearts back.
No, that's what Xemnas wants to do.
Oh, has that not happened yet?
Yeah, this is 10 years before that.
So originally, he wants to balance out the universe.
Yeah, that's Xehanort's overall goal. He wants to restart the Keyblade War, kind of, I think, partially just to know what happens. He has this drive to, like, seek knowledge, and he just wants to know what happens.
I'm sorry, just to know what happens?
Kind of, but he also talks about how, like, balance, I think, is kind of his big drive, too, is he wants, like, darkness and light to be in equal portions, and he thinks the way to do that...
What if we start a World War III? I just want to know what happens.
Sure. Anyways, as a side note...
And then we'll drop some nukes, and we'll see what happens.
This episode's either going to be really funny or really infuriating for people to listen to.
Why say that? Because you or me?
Probably both. Anyways, so as a side note, so he wants to start the Keyblade War, but he also wants to possess Terra's body. You see, Xehanort is getting old and is probably going to die of age soon, so he wants to take over Terra's body and use it as his new vessel.
Oh, hey, it's like Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, there you go. A battle ensues.
The worst Star Wars movie, which means that by extension, Kingdom Hearts is the worst now.
Anyways, they all fight. Xehanort freezes Ventus. Vanitas knocks out Aqua. Terra accidentally releases the darkness out of anger when he sees Aqua get knocked out, which causes Xehanort to, which basically gives Xehanort the window to steal his body, and then basically Terra's body. Yeah, so Xehanort steals Terra's body, and by doing this, he basically takes on the form, oh yeah, it appears in your, yeah. What?
What?
Did you just read that line I wrote?
It appears in your anger, you got norted.
Yeah, that's something the fans refer to, and throughout the games from here on, if Xehanort possesses somebody, it's called getting norted. Not in-game, that's just what the fans call it.
So, Xehanort, he takes over people's body, then he goes back in time so he can form a council of Xehanorts?
Yeah, kind of.
Why does he go... Wait, when does time travel start factoring into this?
Not yet. Not quite yet.
But later?
Yes, later. Later that comes into play.
No.
But basically, all you need to know right now is Xehanort stole Terra's body, and now Terra has the gray hair and the orange eyes, and he basically looks like Ansem from the previous games. So that's why Xehanort did not look anything like Xehanort in the previous games.
Wait, so Ansem from the first game, who's not Ansem the Wise, was Xehanort?
He was Xehanort's Heartless, and he looked like how he did because Xehanort was using Terra's body. Yeah. Anyways, Terra's mind, however, stays in his armor and comes to life as his armor comes to life. And this is actually a secret boss battle in Kingdom Hearts 2. There's a secret boss battle. This is that Lingering Will one you were talking about earlier. Lingering Will is basically Terra's mind left over in his body after Terra stole his mind left in his armor after Terra stole his body. So basically, his armor comes to life and fights off Xehanort. Ventus, in the meantime, manages to thaw himself and stop Vanitas from killing Aqua, but by doing that, he's essentially just started the fight that Xehanort wanted them to have, and this fight causes Vanitas to merge with him, so they turn into one being that is evil, and he gets the Keyblade. So now Vanitas has the Keyblade, and Aqua wakes up with Mickey is with her now, and they team up and fight the possessed Ventus, and while within Ventus is fighting Vanitas inside of himself. Aqua destroys the Keyblade before it's fully finished, which causes a massive explosion. It blasts everyone out of the world, basically. Terra's Lingering Will remains in this Keyblade graveyard as a secret boss of Kingdom Hearts 2. Aqua is now floating out in the space between worlds. Mickey saves her and Ventus's body, which is now unconscious, and they take him to the mysterious tower. They find out that Ventus has fallen into a deep sleep because his heart is missing. He lost his heart in this whole ordeal. Aqua brings Ventus back to the land of departure and uses Ericus's Keyblade to unlock the Chamber of Waking, which is hidden inside of this place. Basically, it turns out that the land of departure is actually Castle Oblivion. She uses the Keyblade to transport...
You know how many times you've uttered the phrase, "it turns out," in this explanation?
Yeah, it turns out this blank is actually blank. So yeah, it turns out the land of departure is actually Castle Oblivion, because she uses the Keyblade to create the castle around Ventus's body. She leaves Ventus's body in the Chamber of Waking and creates the castle around him to keep him safe until they can find his heart. So in the later games, when they're looking for
nobody or something.
Good question. I actually don't know.
I thought when you lose your heart, your body just goes off and does its own thing for a while.
Well, there's a special condition here. Later you find out that basically his heart took shelter inside of Sora, because that's just apparently what tends to happen.
How many hearts are inside of Sora?
4.
Why?
4.
Is one of them Sora's, or are those other hearts?
Yeah, there's Sora's heart, there's Roxas, there's Kairi at one point, and there's also Ventus. Oh, actually, no, 5. If you don't count... There's also kind of 5. Oh, yeah, there's 5, actually. If you don't count Kairi, since she gets taken out, she's not there for very long, there's like 4. After Kairi's gone, there's 4.
Why the hell are so many people hopping inside of Sora?
It's just a nice place, apparently. I don't know. Anyways, Ventus's heart is inside of Sora.
Story is the result of writing a story, not realizing that, and then making more story, and then realizing that the new story doesn't make sense to the old story, so having to write even more story to connect everything, and then on top of that, going out of your way to connect absolutely everybody and everything to being things that you've already seen. It's like not everything needs to be related. Oh, it turns out all this stuff is actually this stuff from the first game, and that this other dude was actually Xehanort's clone, and also his brother, who's also Xehanort.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, anyways, Aqua brings Ventus back to the land of departure. Oh, I already read that part. Anyways, Aqua then goes to the Radiant Garden to confront Terra Xehanort, because that's where he ended up after that whole ordeal. He went to Radiant Garden. They fight.
And then TX unlocked his heart.
Yeah, TX, that's Terra Xehanort.
And caused him to start sinking into darkness.
Oh, whoops, darkness.
Aqua dives in and saves him, sending him back to the realm of light. But now she's in the realm of darkness. And then 6 is found by Ansem the Wise.
It's Terra Xehanort.
I know, his Ven's heart, which is now inside of Sora. And that's why Roxas looks like Ventus instead of Sora. And Aqua meets Ansem the Wise, but he forgot stuff. But now darkness is powerful, but now Sora can stop it.
It's basically just, there's like a little epilogue ending where Aqua is in the realm of darkness, and she meets Ansem the Wise at the Dark Margin. He's sitting there looking all sad. After the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, he's forgotten a lot of his memories, but he basically foreshadows that darkness is gaining power again, but there is hope, and that hope is Sora.
You know, I've literally gotten to the point where I don't know what... There's all this stuff, but I don't even know what the plot is. I don't know why anyone is doing what they're doing. They're just kind of moving from one thing to the other because that's what I don't know who anyone is anymore. I don't know why they're doing anything they're doing. What is any of this?
I don't know.
Why is the evil...
The games are taken a lot better individually when you're not trying to digest them all at once.
Probably also taken better if you had more knowledge, but I don't.
Yep, that's why I'm here.
Listening.
That's why I'm here.
I don't know if you're making it better.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we're over the hour mark. Should we cut it here?
There's still 9 more pages of this notes.
We're over halfway.
Okay, you know what? I'm determined. When the next episode we record, we're finishing this.
All right, let's do it. Let's go ahead and end this one though. Yeah, I don't.
All right.
We'll talk off mic about that. Yeah, go ahead and start the. Or I guess let's say our ending spiel.
Hit the music. Say the thing.
Cue the music.
Going?
No, I gotta add that in post. The new recording method.
You're
Remember?
We're supposed to pretend that it's there.
Oh, it is there. It totally is there. Yeah, it's playing. Yes.
Okay, you go to realplaceholderpodcast@gmail.com. Send us fan notes. Suggest your topics. Tell us, hey, you guys should get real jobs because this is. And we'll say, we don't do that. And you got any words?
Not really.
You know what we forgot to do? I'm Mingus, by the way. We didn't introduce ourselves.
Oh shoot. Yeah, I'm Futterman. I'm the Kingdom Hearts nerd.
Yeah, and I'm the nerd about all the other subjects except this one.
I love how you know.
My hell.
You know what's funny? You trash on Kingdom Hearts so much, but objectively, is it really any worse than some of the stuff you watch?
Yes. Yes, it is.
The millions of comic books and movies you watch. You
I don't not read millions of comic books. I have thousands of comic books.
Oh, good. Anyways, yeah, music's been playing for a while now.
It's over. Goodbye.
Hey, you took my line. Gotta let the music fade. Bye.